Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and we're going to take a look at the polls and everything here because one thing I want to talk about is the upcoming election in 2024. Number one, if you have the opportunity to vote, go vote. A lot of countries don't get that opportunity. If you have trouble having that opportunity for whatever reason, reach out for help. I'm sure somebody can be found to help you take you to the poll. I'm sorry for the noise, it was getting me a little mint. Anyway, yeah. This presidential race, the last one was so thin. This one feels like it's going to be just as thin, if even thinner. And yeah, I don't know who's going to win. Because honestly, there are so many things going on. Let's go ahead and look at the first here. Donald Trump, 91 felony counts in 4 criminal cases. 91. The Constitution states, where are you at? Executive, there it is. Section 4 of Article 2 provides the removal of the president and other federal officers. The president is removed on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. So yeah. He can be impeached for the high crimes and misdemeanors, but also it disqualifies him if he is convicted. I mean, honestly, that holds a lot of things within it. I'm hoping they'll have it written down here in full instead of just saying this is what it says. They're going through the clauses. Section 2. Article 2, rather. Article 2, Section 4. The President, Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. So, yeah. Now, high crimes and misdemeanors. The charge of high crimes and misdemeanors covers allegations of misconduct by officials. Offenses by officials also include ordinary crimes, but perhaps with different standards of proof and punishment than for non-officials, on the grounds that more is expected of officials by their oaths of office. So, yeah. High in the legal and common vocabulary of the 17th and 18th centuries of high crimes is the activity by or against those who have special duties acquired by taking an oath of office that is not shared with ordinary persons. A high crime can be done only by someone in a unique position of authority, which is political, who does things to circumvent justice. The phrase high crimes and misdemeanors used together was a common phrase when the U.S. Constitution was written and did not require any stringent or demanding criteria for determining guilt, but meant the opposite. The phrase was historically used to cover an extensive range of crimes. Okay. So now we know that, yeah, it's possible just through incitement or through illegally asking people to change totals, such as was the case in Georgia. I mean, right there we have proof that these are something that he may end up being barred from the presidency for. Now, let's go ahead. Like I said, there's 91 felony counts in 4 cases: DC, New York, Florida, and Georgia. We have the classified documents case, election interference, which I just talked about, hush money scheme, Georgia. But yeah, so that is one issue with finding out why it is so difficult to decide who may come out the winner. Because, like I said, even if Trump does win the Republican primary, he may end up being barred from the presidency. So, yeah. Let's see. Next, we have multiple candidates who are running this year. if it comes down to Trump and Biden winning their primaries, you still have two independent candidates, Cornel West and RFK Jr. How much they take away from either candidate, who they take away from the most, will matter. It definitely will. So yeah, it will matter a lot. Now, next thing we kind of want to look at here. Here are the latest polls. Let's see. Do Americans have a favorable opinion of Trump? It hit a point there, but it's going back down. How popular is Joe Biden? He was dropped to a point, and now it's just kind of, he's getting back bad again because it's trying to rise on the unpopular. Anyway, this is supposed to be who's ahead in the polls for the primaries. And then we come down here. General election, if it ends up being Newsom. Newsom's thrown his name out there, but I don't think he's even running yet. Trump, DeSantis would beat him. If it ends up being Biden, he would eke out a victory over DeSantis or Trump. And this is from YouGov back on the 20th of November. Well, 20th to 27th that week. November the 26th, here we have from Morning Consult, Biden winning by 1%. November the 20th, from Emerson College, Biden winning over, even with Haley, but winning over Trump. That was Emerson. No, Trump wins in that one, sorry. And the second one from Emerson, Trump also wins. Trump beats Biden there. He clobbers if it ends up being Harris. Yeah, she shouldn't be chosen as president anyway. So we see some polls from there. That's from 538. Let's look at Real Clear Politics. This is looking at three of the candidates: Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Cornel West. And right now, as it sits here, Trump has the advantage by still a razor thin margin. +1, +1, +2, +2, giving him a +1.5 on the average. And then We have another set of polls here. Trump +1, +5, +1, +1, +2, +2, giving them a +1.5. So, again, it's thin. Right now, Trump leads as given conditions, but the one other thing we have to look at, despite Biden's falling approval rating, if you look at the generic ballot, who is favored more, I mean, we're looking. There we go. 0.3 difference between Democrats and Republicans. More or less a statistical tie. So, even though Biden's failed quite a bit, in general, people are just like, we don't like Biden, but we don't want Republicans in charge necessarily. And then you have other issues. 2022, 2023 saw the effects of what the Supreme Court has done to abortion, and the fact they could very much go after the right of homosexual marriage, the right to doing what you do in your bedroom being personal. But yeah. And then we get some more generic polls here. November 21st, 22nd. This is from On Message, and the red here indicates it was sponsored by the Republican Party. Well, typically the Senate Opportunity Fund is what it says. And Republicans are up 6. So if they've got the sponsored by, you kind of have to give them just a 20th. It's done by YouPoll, sponsored by The Economist. Democrats are up 1. Done by Emerson College. Republicans are up 2. McLaughlin and Associates, Republicans are up 4. Then you have the 23rd. Echelon Insights. Republicans are up 2. RMG Research. Republicans are up 2. Yet you get down here on the 14th of November. YouGov, sponsored by The Economist. Democrats are up 1. Done by the Bullfinch Group. Democrats are up 1. And another one by the Bullfinch Group. Democrats are up 1. And done by Hart Research Associates, Public Opinion Strategies, sponsored by NBC News. The Republicans are up 2 in this one. So, yeah. So, again, there is so much feeding into this that, honestly, I don't know who's going to be president. Honestly. Trump could still be convicted and end up being barred from office, even if he does win the Republican primary. You know, so it's not a guarantee he would win, even though he's up by this razor thin margin. Biden's sinking his pose because the economy's still hurting, although now he's looking at the corporations. I saw in an article, and going after them for price gouging, which I've been saying for a long time. That's a big part of the increase in costs. Because we know the inflation percentage has gone down. Many of the supply chains have been reconnected. So it's like, where else is it coming from? Price gouging. So yeah, even though a lot of other stuff has been fixed, there's still some companies making some record profits. So yeah. But if the profits, or if the prices of a lot of things really do go down, in time we may see some change. Still, he's hurting himself also with his behavior in the Israel-Gaza conflict. I refuse to call it a war because there is no war. This is just genocide. But yeah. I don't know. I really cannot give you an honest pick. I mean, we're still just under a year out, but there's a lot of variables. There is a lot of variables that play too much into this that I cannot honestly give you a definitive answer. But that will be it for this episode. As always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. Someone tells you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. I will be putting links in the description box below the video. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, later.